Okay, so uh for this now, so what the question was that is there a way we can format this average time? So one way, because based on our question that we have here, they said let me check the question. Let me go to the question. He said how does the percentage of delayed flight vary? Oh no, okay. What percentage of flight in experienced a departure delay in 2015? And among those flights, what was the average delay time in minutes? So Mr. Akide asked that is there a way we can format this time whereby we can put minutes at the back so that you can know that this time that we have is a minute, not a second or any other unit of time. So there's a way we can do that with formatting in Power BI. And how do you format? So you formatting your metric in Power BI is just like you writing a DAX formula for it also. So for example, now let's say I want to format this time that I have here, the average time, I want to put it in minutes. So I want minutes to appear at the back of it. So what I can do is just I click on the new measure, and after selecting the new measure, I can say it come up. So I can just name this one maybe average time or something, AVG, probably I think time. Let's put it out. So in that case, so the first thing you need to do, you need to type in the format function. So that's what we use to format. So you select the format. So when you type in the format, what these are the parameters you have to supply in. So the first one is the value. So the value that I'm actually trying to format is the average delay time. So I'm going to call in the average delay time here. So after putting in that, so the next one is like you formatting the figure. What we have here, the average delay time is in figure. So it's asking for what format you want to put in terms of like decimal number and everything like that. So I can just put it in like let's say in maybe one decimal place. Just to do that, I can put this one in quote like this. So hash talks about the value before the decimal. So we have two values. That's the three and points. So how many value do I want after the decimal point? Is just one. So I'm going to put hash here too, and that will format this one in what in one decimal place. That's like a 3.7. So after doing that, that's the format. So after doing that, to add the minutes, we have to concatenate, like add the text with the minute text. And how do we do that? So concatenate in formatting or in Power BI, you can use the app. So for this now, I'm going to type in the minutes in code. So I put it this way, and I can put a space here. And that's that. So if I press enter now, so I already have my average time. So if I drag in the average time, remove this one, and I drag in the average time here, you can see I have it like 33.7 minutes. So that is that. And you wanted to write it in full or anything like that, whatever you want to put it in text, you can also put it in this place. And the format that you want to do here, maybe it's two decimal places or one decimal places. You can also add it here. So that is that about the formatting, adding text to it. So the second question is about commenting, like you trying to add a comment or description to your formula. Because I can write a formula in Power BI now and probably coming back to it in probably some days. I might forget what the formula is for. So I can also comment in Power BI. So let me just use the same code to comment. Now, for example, now I'm typing the average time. I'm trying to format the average time now, and it's in the same line. So if I wanted to put this my DAX formula into the next line, I can use Control Enter to bring it to the next line. So Control Enter will bring this into the next line. Let me do this one. So if I press in Control Enter now, it's going to sorry, it's not Control Enter, it's Shift Enter. So it's Shift Enter. So if I try to Shift Enter now, it's bringing my DAX formula to the next line. So I can also drag in Shift Enter to get something. Let me just put some text there. Now to add a format, to add a comment, if the comment is a multiple line comment, you are going to use the forward slash and the asterisk. So if it's just a single line comment, I can just put something like, okay, two forward slash here, like, and I can add my comment. So let's say this is the formatting or something. Let's just this is the formatting. So that's for a single line comment. So if I'm adding a multiple line comment, I have to use this what's it called now? The forward slash asterisk. And how does that work? So I can add something here. Let's take it. So it's going to be like forward slash asterisk. And I can add my comment next, like, okay, this is the formatting. So to go to the next line, I can just say for this measure. Now to close the formatting, like close, you have to close it up that just to show that you are done formatting. So to close it up, you just come to the next line and put asterisk and sorry, asterisk, then the forward slash again. So that's about formatting multiple lines and what does this mean? That so when you run this dark formula, all these ones that are commented, they are not going to like run as it's not going to see them as a formula, it's just going to see them as a text. So that's how you can format your dark formula in Power BI. And you have so many probably very long formulas that you're going to write, you can actually add those things to it. So that's that about um formatting and the comment. So the next one we want to talk about now before we go to the question, because is the forecasting. So let's say, for example, now you want to forecast. That's for Mr. Casme, I believe. So you want to forecast in Power BI. There's a way you can forecast in Power BI. And it's actually straightforward for those that are actually very conversant with. Not 100% sure, but just like give you some values about what to expect in future. So now, let's say I want to forecast this thing. And usually, when you are forecasting, you are dealing with trends, you are dealing with time, like you pay for time. And forecasting in Power BI is actually for line charts. So you can only use them for line charts. You can use it like that. But that doesn't, if you wanted to write some, maybe some forecasting formulas like moving average, rolling average, you can do that by writing the DAX formulas. But if you wanted to like forecast using the forecast function in Power BI for probably sales or anything for a period of time. So it's majorly for line charts and you have to use your date. So in this case now, if I want to forecast, I can forecast for day of the week or let's say day of the week or month of the year, just like I have it here. So to forecast real in real sense, you have to use the dates. What's it called now? The dates column. So in this case, now let's just say I put in my date column here. So I remove the day name for this one. I'm using this one now. Using this that I have here. I'm using the date name. Um, and so let me remove the one. So I'm going to drag in the date column. So you must use the date column for your forecasting. You must use the date column. So I drag in the date column. Where am I dragging something? Should be here. So I drag in the date column. Now you notice when you drag in the date column, automatically Power BI is going to split your date into different hierarchy. You can't do forecasting with hierarchy like this. No, it has to be in real date. So to do that, I'm going to change it from this hierarchy, date hierarchy to normal dates. And I have something like this here. You can see it's like a daily something showing the trends of my daily sales of light bulb. Now to add the forecasting, now to now forecast, probably let's say I want to forecast for the next 10 days what our flight volume is going to be like or anything like that. So what we need to do is just come to this thing that looks like lens here, this lens thing, and click on it. Add further analysis to your visual. So that's where you click on it. So under this thing now, you can see the forecast option here. So it's automatically is like default is disabled. So you have to enable it. So when you enable the forecast, then you could get a bit of forecast here by default. You can see it's giving a forecast now. So by opening it, you can just format it to what you want. So on this thing is asking for the forecast length, and I'm putting 10 here. Now this forecast length is on day basis because this line chart, this trend is for daily trend. So this one is like for 10 days. That's the number of points that you put in. And you can choose whatever you want to do. It can be maybe second, minutes, months, quarter, or something like that. You can choose uh the unit
Hello? Hello? Please, can anyone else hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it
Maybe.
was his network that just went
Oh,
off.
maybe.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everyone. We should just give him like a few minutes to try and join back.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Please, where do I stop before the line just break off?
Can you take the forecast again?
Okay, sorry. So for the forecast now, I said to forecast in Power BI. So you just have to you have to deal with dates. So you have to use dates. And when
Your
you are
screen
dealing
is
with,
not showing, sorry.
okay, sorry. Okay. So okay, I said let me just take this thing back. So you wanted to forecast in Power BI, you have to deal with the forecast option is actually available for the line chart, and you can only forecast for it's a time series something. It's when you're dealing with data, you're trying to forecast what the future thing, what is going to be, or maybe sales in the next maybe 2 weeks. You're just trying to forecast it, just to plan according to that range. So that's actually what forecast does in real life. So now to forecast in Power BI, now I have to use a trend line. So to select the trend line, I have to bring this trend line here. Now you have to use the date column. Now in this case, when you are forecasting, you can't use the month, or you can't use the day, you can't use the month, you can't use the day, you can't use the week or something like that. What you can use is what is the original date column. So let's say, for example, I drag in my date here now, and I drag in the flight volume. Probably I want to predict or forecast the flight volume for the next maybe 10 days or 3 days. Right. So you read the flight volume. How do I drag this thing like that? Yes, it's the flight. Now, when I drag in the date column now, automatically when you drag in the date column to Power BI tends to break it down in hierarchy, like years, quarter, month, and day. This one does not really work for forecasting. So you have to convert it to real date uh thing. So then you are going to get your trend on a daily basis like this. You can see that this is like a daily trend. So this is the way you can forecast in Power BI. So after you've created a chart like this, then you move to this. When you select the chart, you get an option here that looks like lens, which is analytics or something. So you click on it. From this option, you can see the forecast. But by default, our forecast is always disabled, so you have to enable it for you to be able to use it. So for me to use it, I have to enable it. Then after enabling it now, I can now go to it and fine tune it to whatever I want. Now this point now is like it's showing based on the point I have here, and this trend is on a daily basis. So it's showing like okay, in the next 10 days, I can give this one to like 20 days. So do a forecast of like 20 days, and you can adjust it to whatever unit you want. It can be probably on a yearly basis or quarterly basis or hourly basis or minute or anything like that. So you can adjust it based on that. But let me just leave it at points, which is the daily. So I want to get a forecast for the next 20 days. After that, we have the seasonality here. Seasonality is just like the number of cycle that you have in a particular range of years. For example, now if I'm trying to like predict for month, then I have to put in like, and for months now I have like 12 months in a year if I'm dealing with a year data. So if I put 12 here for my seasonality, I have to adjust this one to like 12 too. Let's say 12. So that's the way that works. Now the next one we have is the confidence interval. So confidence interval is just talking about like the assurance of this your forecast, like how sure it is that this thing is correct. So you can adjust it to whatever I want. The higher the better. You understand now? So let's say for example, like you using 95% confidence interval shows like out of the 100%, 100 times that this prediction has been done, 95% is correct. So that is the forecast. So you can adjust it to like 99%, depending on how serious the value you're trying to forecast is. So if I click on apply, then I'm going to get my forecasting here. And you can see when you hover around the forecasting, you can see the forecasting for each day. And when you hover around it, you are getting the real forecast value and the upper bound and the lower bound. You don't normally now. Forecasting deal with range. Okay, this is the value that is predicted, but it varies between this. This is the upper bound, this is the lower bound. It doesn't go between this particular range. So that's how it works. And you go around, you can get a forecasting for individual day and stuff like that based on the data that you have. So that's majorly what the forecast option that we have for Power BI. And also you can use moving averages, weighted moving average, rolling average. All those ones you have to write the formula in DAX. Like you write like hard code the formula in DAX for you to get that. So that's that. So let me go to question because I know I have a lot of people questioning me here. So Mr. Kennedy, I'm with you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much.
Good
afternoon.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry.
Thank you very much. No problem. Please, I would just like to ask that forecasting, is it the same thing as real-time monitoring system on Power BI, or they are not the same thing?
Real-time monitoring system.
And how is it done on Power BI?
Now, forecasting, I don't really have much on the real-time monitoring system on Power BI, but I can actually do some research on that and give you some feedback on that. But what I know about forecasting is this: it's just like you trying to predict what the future is. Like for example, now let's say I just finished one production season now, and I'm going to new production season. Now I want to forecast what the sales is going to be like based on the past records. You understand that based on my past sales, so I want to predict what the sales is going to be like in the next production season, just to prepare towards that. That doesn't tell you that that's exactly what it's going to be. It's just giving you an idea of what it's going to be. Forecasting, like just looking into the future and getting some information from it. That's what actually that one is. But the other one, I'm going to do research and see whether they really relate or different. Or do anybody have any contribution on that one? As Power BI that I want to share with us. Okay, so I will look into that and get back to you on that. So any other question? Mr. Kasme, do you understand? Do you get my explanation?
Yes, to a great extent, even though my network had been off and on.
Oh, sorry about that. Probably I'm going to get you the video and see what you can do about it. So okay, before I go to the question, other people too. So I also those people that asked the question, Mr. Akitule, please do answer the question also. Your question about formatting and commenting. You get that?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So we have Lucy. Sorry.
Yeah, this thing. Good afternoon. Sorry.
So
This thing you just forecasted now, please can you like explain it because I don't know what it means. Like forecasting and then explaining what that forecast mean.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
okay. So we have another person still have to do your question. Let me take your question so that I can actually deal with them at the same time. Stella.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
I wanted to find out. So for this forecasting, is there a particular column that one can use? Let's say qualitative or quantitative column, or what is the criteria for the forecasting?
Okay. That's that. So another thing is about the forecasting is this is actually for quantitative. So before it has to be measurable. Like what you are forecasting, it has to be measurable. We use that sometimes, like um, there's they use forecast majorly in time series analysis. Notice that those are into forex trading and everything like that. They tend to like make decisions based on their what they get from the forecast. That's what they do based on what has happened in the past. So they are trying to predict the future based on the past experience. So that's what majorly forecast is. So now I've been doing my sales for the past 3 years now. Like I probably have my supermarket for the past 3 years. Now I want to just like get some idea of what the sales is going to be like in the next 3 months. I'm not there yet. So I just want to forecast what is going to be in the next 3 months. So I can use the forecast option to do that. And it's going to give me a forecast based on my past sales trends, based on the way my sales has been in the recent time, like the past. So that's what is going to like give me the forecast on. And it really is just to, it's for decision making. When you wanted to make a decision, you just want to like have the level of understanding of what the future will be before you jump into your decision making stuff. So that's what really forecasting is all about. And for Lucy question. Now, for example, now you notice that we have a flight volume. We have flight volume from let's say January 1st, 2015 to that the last date I have is March 10, 2015. Now we don't have the values for the what the I don't know what the flight volume is going to be for like March 15, March 12, March 11, March something. So we just want to get the idea of what the flight volume is going to be so that we can prepare based on that. You understand that? And we want to predict that based on what we have had in the past, based on our past records now. So, for example, now when I use the prediction, it's telling me that March 11, our flight volume is going to be within 3,828. No, if you check this one, it was on 1,043. So we should be expecting 3,828 for March 11, and it's giving us the upper bound and the lower bound. That is, it can be higher than this and it can go lower than this. You understand? Based on our confidence level. That is, worst come worst, you can't experience anything higher than this. Based on the confidence level that we set, that our value is not going to go beyond the upper band and lower band. So that's usually what forecast is. It's just to like inform of what the future holds and stuff like that. We use that a lot in time series analysis. Do I give an explanation to it to some extent?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, Stella, also, do I answer your question? Okay, I don't think she's there. So, now let's go to our question. So that's that for the questions that I have. So I have another questions like assignment I need to work on. I'm going to feed you
So
back on
please,
that.
one thing.
Okay.
Sorry for jumping in. The canvas is quite tiny, and then struggling to see it clearly, plus network challenges. So I
Oh,
asked, on the x-axis, what do you use? Is it month and year?
no. It's the normal dates. It's the date column that I use for the x-axis. Now you can't really use the forecasting for the what's it called now? We can't use it for probably the month or the week or date. So we have to bring in the date itself, the date column. So we can only predict based on the date column. So you cannot adjust your forecasting to like probably on a monthly basis or a yearly basis or a weekly basis, but it has to be date column. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the let's go back to our question like the airline data set we were working with last time. So we stopped at where do we stop at? It was with that's question this. So we said how does the percentage of the delay flight vary throughout the year? I think that's where we stopped. So we actually calculate the flight volume for the delay flight and we see how it varies throughout the year. And we notice that it tends to follow the same pattern with the normal flight volume. So now the next one is what about for flight leaving from Boston? So what we want to do now is like we wanted to know the like how does the flight delay flight volume vary, and particularly for the flight leaving from Boston specifically. So we want to do that. Now to do that now, we already created a sorry, what's it called? A dark formula for the delay flight volume. Now, this delay flight volume, now we want to now fine tune it or narrow it down to like flights leaving for Boston alone. So to do that now, I just have to like write a dark formula, or I can use a filter option. Is that I write a dark formula, or I can use a filter option whereby I can just bring in the city or the what's it called now? Because if you come to our data field, how do we get information about the city or the airline that sorry, just a minute. I think it's from the airport now. Yeah, to know where our flight is coming from or where it's going to is from the airport. Now we can just create a filter for the city and try to filter down for Boston. I think we have Boston here. Yes, we do. So we can filter for the flight leaving for Boston. That's one way we can do that. Another way we can do that is just like add coding, writing it out in dark something like that. Okay. So what is the volume of the delay flight for the flight leaving for Boston alone? And I believe that everyone knows that it's just very, very simple. Just calculate delay blocks. Let's say delay Boston. And just do this and delay Boston. So that will be calculate. And the expression is average delay volume. No, sorry. Delay flight volume. So that's the this is delay flight volume. Then for this now, we wanted to filter for what's for Boston alone. So we can now use the filter option here. And for that, we are going to be using where the airports, where the airport city equals to, I'll put this thing in Boston like this. That's all. And that will give us the flight volume. So we can actually just now bring in the day of the week or see the trend based on the day of the week or anything here now. We just copy this one. I can bring this thing here and just change this one from the flight volume to the Boston. Okay, I guess I'm getting nice area. Okay, Mr. Kitunde and Andrew.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Just a quick question. The filter you just applied now, I saw that you used the equals. That's the airport city equal posting. I was
Okay.
in my head before you did it. I was thinking what the other filters we've done in the past. We've said something like product in. Yes. Are these the same, or what's the difference between the two?
Okay, so the difference between in and equals to this, when I'm trying to filter for just a single value, probably Boston alone, that's when it is equals to Boston. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to look within a range that when it's like flight coming from Boston, another city like that, maybe like 3 cities. I just want to like check the flight, but then I have in. You understand? So if the name of the flight is in these values that I'm actually listing, so that's what I'm using. If the value is more than one, so that's that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this thing, I'm not getting anything for this. Definitely, I'm missing something, and something is missing. Because it's not showing any trend. Okay, sorry. I didn't drag the dates yet, so let's drag the day name. I'm still not getting anything. So there's something wrong. See that my dark formula is not correct. But let's check our what's our connection. So there is connection between flight and airports. Yes. Okay. Let's check it again. Because this kind of so the leaf flight volume airport city is equal to Boston. Let me check it very well whether it's city before I go on. Yes, it's city now. Airport city. Yeah, Boston. Okay. This is something else. So okay, let me do another thing. Let me try to like just use filter. So let me delete this one and let me use the filter option. Let me just see whether that one work. So this question is to the management filter option to see this. Let's drag in city. So we have this thing. So let's try and filter for Boston. So there's no any flight leaving for Boston. Yes. So from our that's the solution. So there we don't have any flights, any information of flight leaving for Boston in our flight volume, and that's why we're getting that. Oh, the data is not correct. So from here, there's no any flight leaving for Boston as yet. Origin airport. So let me just see the ad code of Boston here. Let's check airports, Boston. I'm trying to check the name. Okay, MA. That's the state. For the city, is that anything like that? City. So this is what this one shows. So based on our data now, it's telling us that we don't have any airline leaving from Boston for this particular data set. So that's why we're not getting anything in this part. So we're not seeing any M here. So that's why there's no value for that here. So there's no any flight leaving from Boston from the data set here. So that's for that. And that's why that one is empty. So to now get to our next question now. So Bismarck. Hold on. It's actually not getting for anything. Let's use city. State. Let me take a look. It's contributing it to airport. Just a minute. Uh-uh. Let's use airport for flights. Let's use airport for flights. Airport. Okay, why I'm trying to figure this now, not to wait much of our time. Let's just go to the next question. I don't really know what's going on with this. So the next question that we have here is this. He said, how many flights were cancelled in 2015 and what percentage of cancellation were due to weather and what percentage were due to airline carrier? So now we want to look for the cancelled flight now. So we said we have some, we said there are some flights that are cancelled and we wanted to know the reason why they are cancelled. Now we have the column for the cancelled flights. So if you check the, what's it called now? We have a particular table here that talks about cancellation. So we have cancellation codes, and for the cancellation codes, we have we check the table. These are different cancellation reasons that we have. We have the cancellation due to airline carrier. We have cancellation due to weather, national air system, and security. So if you go to the flight table now, we have the cancellation column also there. We have the cancellation column. You can see the cancellation reason. So what we have here is we have blank, we have A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D. Now, the reason why there's blank is because most those ones that are blank, they are not what they are not cancelled. You understand that? So that's why that's why they are blank. So we can actually just probably replace this now, wherever it is that is black, replace it with what with not cancelled. That's that one itself. So for us now, we want to know the percentage of cancelled flights now. First of all, let me get the volume of the cancelled flights. So to get the volume of the cancelled flights now, what I need to do is just, I can also write in the DAX formula for that to get the volume of the cancelled flights. So it's going to be new measure cancelled, let's see, underscore volume. If you do this now, it's going to be calculate flight volume, which is our initial flight volume, and comma. Now the next thing is our filter option. Now, so for this filter, we wanted to like calculate for flights, delay flight, and we have delay flight as A, B, C, and what and D. So I can use that when the cancellation reason, that's flight cancellation reason. Cancellation reason in. So we can use this is where we can use in now because you know we have different listing. Now we put this one in curly brackets. So cancellation reason is in A, comma B. I think we have only four. We have comma C. We have comma D. So if the cancellation reason is in any of these things, then find the total volume for us. So we want to like know that. So when you close the bracket and you press enter, so this will give us the cancel volume. So after getting the cancel volume, now you can just go. Let's just put like a what's it called now, like a card to check the total flights, cancelled flights. So if I just say cancelled volume, I put here, can see is 41,000. So 41,000 of flights was cancelled. Now we want to now bring this thing down based on we want to know the percentage of individual cancelled flight due to airline carrier, due to weather and everything like that. So we can actually just we can create a percentage for that, but first of all, let's just create a bar chart to see the distribution, the absolute value. So in that case, I will use a bar chart for that. So I'm going to select this bar chart. So for this now, I'm going to drive the cancel flight to the y-axis. Then I will drive the cancellation code. Cancellation code. So I think it's the second one, cancellation reason. I'm going to drag it to the distance. And we're getting different something. Is this not linked? Okay, wait. So let's try this other cancel flight volume. Flight. So I'm driving cancellation reason here. Yeah, so I have some cancellation reason here, and one of the things I go here is this. You can see based on the absolute value now. Based on the absolute value I have for whether it's just 28,000 and this is just can say airline carrier is this and that. So for me to calculate the volume for what's it called now, the percentage for this whether airline carrier or anything like that, I think we can actually another way we can do the percentage is let me click on the calculator here. Sorry. Show value as. So I find out about this recent show value as percentage of grand total. So now, so this one is actually doing a percentage of grand total for this thing. So instead of like probably writing or writing it in tax formula, we can actually just get the percentage of what's in grand total. So for this one now, the delay flight out of the total flight volume, the delay flight is actually 96.1%, not delay flight. That's why it's blank. So actually I should replace the blank with not delay. And for this other one, which is weather is due to like we have 2.7% of delay flight due to what cancelled flight due to weather. And for the airline carrier, we have what's it called now? We have 0.67 and everything like that. But the question that we have here now, that's just based on the general basis now. So for the question that we have here is this: they said how many flights were cancelled in 20? We get the total flight that were cancelled in 2015, which is this cancelled flights. Where is it? Okay, cancelled flight volume, and we have one another. So they wanted to now split this thing based on what's it called now? Based on the cancellation reason, just to know okay, out of this cancelled flight now, what is the proportion of airline, weather, and everything like that. So let me cancellation reason here now. So we have the cancellation reason. So for example, now B is due to airline, weather, or something like that. I think that's what's that. Okay, we should bring in this thing here. So yes, so I get what I'm on now. So you can see now this is a percentage of the cancellation flights, cancelled flights for each cancel reason. So I can convert this one to percentage, show as percentage and total. Now 69.7% of the cancelled flight is due to weather, while the other percentage is due to airline carrier, that's 17%. Then we have 13% due to the national air system, and security is actually how many percent? That's so low. That's like 0.00 something percent. So that's the like percentage of cancelled flight due to the cancel reason for the question that we have here. So what's 17.2? So that's that question. So the last question that we have for this one now is which airline seems to be the most and least reliable in terms of on-time departure? Now, so I want to ask us like a general question now. When they say which airline is like most or least reliable based on on-time departure, what metric are we going to use to determine whether they are reliable or not reliable? So this is the general question. Delay. Thank you. So delay time. So that's what we're going to use to determine whether they are reliable or not. And the lower the delay time, the more reliable the airline is, and the higher they are not reliable. So to do that, you can just do that in the form of like a bar chart to get the delay like. So in that case now, I already create the what's it called now? I already create a metric that shows the average delay time. You understand? Like I had the average delay time metric created here before. So we have the average delay time here. So I can just try to like show the whole thing based on that. Let me delete this so I can get my more like. So I have this, and I drag in the airline. So I drag in the airline on the y-axis. I drag in the average delay time. The y-axis. So let's get the airline. So let me see the column that contains the airline here. Okay, we have here. The airline. Okay. Sure, my connection is still intact. Practice. Oh, God of mercy. So this is why I'm not getting answer for this now. Now, if you check my collection, like I said earlier, now I'm trying to like link it up based on the what's it called, based on the airline name, and they are not actually really making sense. So I have to delete this one. It should be on item code. Should be on this. Okay. So let's try and go back to it now and drag in airline. Yes. Goodness. So that is now I have my average delay time based on airline now. So actually I had issue with my modeling. That's why I'm not getting my real answer. And I'm actually sure for that busting, that's the same thing that happened. That's why I'm not getting that. I'm still going to look into that. Now we can know. So let me just enable the label now to know the reliable airline and the least reliable airline now. So this is at the average delay time now. So to know the reliable airline, so I can sort this one in descending order. Sorry, ascending order. Because when you are trying to like sort or present your data, you have to like sort it based on what you want to see. Now, what they're actually interested in is the least what's it called now? Least the most reliable airline. So I'm going to sort it based on that because that's what they're actually interested in. So sort it based on average data in ascending order. So the most reliable airline that we have is this Hawaiian airline. So that's the one that has that's the most reliable airline. And the average delay time is like 18 minutes, followed by the Southwest airline, followed by US Airlines, and like that. So that is that one. That is questions. That is the solution to our question. So do we have any question on that on what we just did? See me. So sorry. I I missed all this thing. So do you have any question on that? Any question at all? Based on what we just did. Okay, that shows that we really understood. What's this thing states? Yeah, is someone trying to talk? Okay, I'm coming. Stella, sorry, I'm too.
All right, I was just wondering, this
Okay.
last one you just did now, you were
Yes.
using the delay, and
I will,
on it, you use the delayed, right?
yes, I use the having delay time. Yes.
But I was just thinking
Okay.
aloud that the question they are looking for the reliable flights to use, right?
Yeah, reliable flight to use. Yeah.
So I think part of the conditions, delay is part of the conditions. What about cancellation?
Now, so the question is actually directed towards which airline is the most reliable and least reliable in terms of on-time departure.
Okay.
Yes, good. So that's
Okay.
all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, any other question for this airline thing before we move to our real question of the day, which is the assignments? Okay, David. Okay, I think someone was using that. Okay, so if there's no other question, let's just go to our assignments. So the assignment for this week, why I'm still trying to figure out this airline thing, because I don't know why it's based on. Okay, Bola Dale. You can go ahead, Bola Dale.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
I realized you don't use date table.
I don't use date table.
Yes.
Yes, for my analysis, right?
Yes. So I'm wondering because from things I've seen on YouTube, a lot of them use like date table when they want to like check years, date, and everything like that. But I don't see you using it. And I used it in my own assignment. So I'm thinking, is it like it's not like a best practice or something?
Now, yeah, it's good. Date table comes in when you are trying to like do something like time intelligence. I'm trying to like analyze my this thing, like trying to like okay, something like maybe year to date, month to date, quarter to date, you understand like that, month on month, year on year, week on week. So if I'm trying to like analyze, doing kind of like a time intelligence analysis, like for my business, then date table will come in. But in this case, I'm just trying to analyze based on like month and day and year, and I actually have a date column for that, so I can really extract the date column from that and put it there. You understand? So the reason why we actually use the date table is just, just to give us a date range. Because sometimes when you are dealing with time intelligence, and probably you have a date that is omitted. Probably you don't work in a particular day. Let's say maybe due to public holiday, you didn't work at it, and there's no date
Yeah.
for that. Now it's going to affect your analysis in time intelligence. You understand that? So they want every date to be accurate. That there should not be any missing date. So that's why
Oh,
we tend to
okay.
create a date table that just
Around.
like yeah and cancel that. So that's how it's stated. So
Yeah, thank you.
so that's you're welcome. So that's that. Let's quickly go to the question that our assignment is actually very easy and straightforward, I believe. Do anybody have any maybe issue, or probably the question stressed them a bit, or they don't really understand the question for the assignment? Anyone?
Sorry, it's me again. I have a question. I have a problem with the number 6 question. I don't know if
Okay,
you can take it. I'm trying to open it here. I can't find it on my page
let me
on
see.
my laptop. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Which says the previous question is who is the salesperson with the highest sales? And the next one is now which region are they based? So I'm thinking, is the which
More than
there, is it talking about the sales or talking about the salesperson?
He's talking about the salesperson actually.
Okay.
You understand? He's talking about the salesperson. Like yeah, he's talking about the salesperson. He's talking about the salesperson. I see why you might actually want, like, the question is confusing a bit. He's actually talking about salesperson. So now this is just a question, and I've seen a lot of beautiful dashboard that you guys created, like so wonderful, like so many color looking pumping, and you know that shows that we really actually like really put in our mind to this, and we like try to like get some external research to just make it. So that's like really, really good. Well done, guys. Now I will just give a brief summary of like of the assignment and what I expect, or we expect you to like to do, and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now the first question is, let's quickly briefly just check data set first. That's the first step. So this is the question. It's just a sales data set, and these are the information that we have in the sales data set. We have the sales, we have the revenue, we have the cost of goods sold, we have the profit and more. So, and it says sales analysis of sales system helps your business improve its sales process, achieve sales goals and objectives, support operational decision, boosting performance, sales reports. We include various metrics like blah 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 blah. So now this is what the stakeholders are like want to check from the sales report or your dashboard. This is what they want to be checking. Now that doesn't mean that the metric that is included in this dashboard will be limited to this, but it can be limited to this, but that doesn't mean it should be limited to this. You can also put some a metric that you think that might inform them after you actually acknowledge all these their requests first. That's the first thing. Because when they request a dashboard right from management, it is them they wanted to use to track the performance based on their domain knowledge and everything like that. So you have to first of all acknowledge what their request and put it there. And you as a data analyst on your hand might think like, okay, they need these metrics also that can inform them on this and this. So just tell a story with the data sets on the dashboards. Just tell a story. You understand? Make sure the story is making sense like this and that, so that when they check this, they can actually see why down is this and this is this and that. So that's that. So these are the questions they actually wanted to like answer. What is the total sales, quantity sold, and total profit? Which region is generating the highest sales? How many returns do we have? In which category do we see the highest number of return products? Who is the salesperson with the highest sales, and in which region are they based? Which ship mode is the most frequently used by customers, and who are top 10 customers? So okay, so let's go to the data set. So when we check data set now, we have data set. Okay, I have it here. A lot of people have issue with this data set, but when you try to load it into Power BI, it's giving them some error like this thing. Now this is why it's like that. The the format, this data set is stored in Excel format of like 1997 2003 worksheets. You understand now? And the version of Excel that we're using now, or Power BI that we're using, actually deal with Excel 2004 and above. That is why the extension of this one is XLS. So whenever you see XLS as the extension of an Excel file, that shows like this is an Excel version of 1997 to 2003. So when you see XLX, XLSX, it has X at the back. That one is like 24 and above. So that's why you're getting that issue. So sorry about that. And so this is the data set. We already have the data set here. And these are the information we have, the order. And what are the things that we have here? We have the order ID. So we have the row ID, we have the order ID, order dates, blah, 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 country, and everything like that. So this is the first table. Now the second table is this return. And the last table is this, which is the region and the person. Now, in this type of situation and this type of data set, now the other table is the fact table. You understand? It's the one that contains the daily transaction. So this is the fact table that contains the real information or that track the business metrics that has the major thing in it. So the other ones are just the complements, which are the fact and dimension table. They are the complement tables, these are the returns and the people. Now to load this thing in Power BI and to work with it. So let me just quickly do this and try to like load into my Power BI. Okay, that's it. So table. Should I create a new one? Seems so clumsy. Okay. I don't want to create a new one. Let me just create a new Power BI so that I can actually just choose down. Okay, so we have this other one here now. So the first thing is just loading the data set. How do I load in data set? Just get it from. So it's an Excel book, and I have my data set on my desktop. Okay. So I have the data set here. So now we have the three. So we have the order. So those are the three tables I'm using. I have the people, then I have the returns. So we'll just take it to transform to like able to clean it in Power Query. So use first row as data. That's the first. This one, and the second one is just use first row as data for this also, and use first row as data. No, this one is not use first row as data. It's actually cool. So first of all, let's check the data type. The data types are actually correct, correctly stated. So we have the decimal, decimal, decimal. We have the text, text, text. We have the text, 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 and we have the dates, date. Okay, I think I have some hands up here now. Okay. Mr. Akisi, you can go ahead.
All right, thank you. Please, while I was trying to load the data set from Excel into Power BI, I had an extraneous table that was loaded. So apart from the others, people and returns table, I also saw something others $ filtered database. So I didn't know what that was, or I had to take it out anyway, and I didn't load it. I was just wondering where that came about.
Now, it's actually where they extract the data set from. That is why. It is where the data set is gotten from. And sometimes, probably they extract it from a particular, maybe a database trying to store in that way, or they actually carry out some analysis on that particular data set before. We actually get that when you try to load in some data set, whereby it's going to show some strange, what's it called now? Code table in the, in your, what's it called now? In the Excel sheets. Is it that they have actually created a table here before that deleted, or the source at which the data set is got? That's why it's like that. But you can just ignore it and just focus on the ones that you need for the analysis, which is that. Yeah.
Okay.
So now,
typically, okay, go on, please.
Yeah. So after loading the data set, we have the variables here now, which actually is correctly stated, and we have the people, which is actually correctly stated. So we have to check for duplicate values and any other things like that. So I don't think there's duplicate here. So there's no duplicate value. I don't think there's duplicate value. Let's take this one. So there's no much data cleaning issue with this data set. So that's that. So after you're done cleaning your data set, it's just to like load it into Power BI and let's start our analysis. Now, before you start our analysis, so this our question, this particular thing I'm about to answer now is going to be an interactive something. So I'm going to be throwing questions to you. You're going to be like throwing it back to me. Let's just be doing that so that it can be fun and it can be much more interactive so that people can learn. So the first thing now is based on the question is when you get your question, and do you actually did a sketch of work of how you want your dashboard to look like? Like, do anybody do that? Like, probably sketch it out and probably highlight it somewhere in the paper. Okay, this is where I want my dashboard to be arranged. Before you actually come to Power BI and start creating the dashboard, do anybody do that? Okay, you did that. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. So that's another thing. So okay, brother, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, usually I don't go to Power BI to design first. First thing is I do my analysis first. After doing the analysis, I just drop the chart there and go to PowerPoint.
Okay.
Like just drag shape and everything, and then export it as a picture. And then use it as the background in PowerPoint. That's what I do basically.
Yeah, I think that's another way to design this thing. Actually, now that's a very good thing. Like, but thank you so much for actually bringing that up. Now, for the designing of for dashboard, we're actually going to go. We are not going to go into that because of our time and every other thing. Now, PowerPoint really comes in handy when you're trying to like design your Power BI and make it look nice, put some shape and put some whistle and bells in it, just like to make it like catchy. Now, when people see your dashboard, it's like, whoa, who created this and stuff like that. So yeah, PowerPoint really works. So you can try that. You can explore that option, and you can do some research on how you can actually beautify your dashboards to make it look much more better. Yes, that's a very good one. Well done. So another thing is this. So after getting the questions, actually, like you said, you have to like first of all do your analysis, get your metrics right. what you want to like show in your dashboard. Now, the first one is, what is the total sales quantity and total profits? So what is the best chart for us to use for this first question, like to represent this first question? What chart do you use to represent this? Okay. I think, okay, please, you can go on.
So we can use histogram if you want to use chart.
Histogram, right? You said histogram. Okay, for
bar chart.
for bar chart. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah. So, Lolade,
You can use the card.
the card. All right, thank you. I think I have some other people reason on their hand. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You can go
You
ahead.
can use card or slicer.
You can use card or slicer. Okay. So, Omawumi, you can go ahead. Oh, okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear?
Card.
Card. Okay, card. So,
Card.
okay, all right. Thank you so much. Osai.
Okay, good afternoon. I think it's a matrix, so I used card.
Use card. Okay. So, Osai. Sorry. Okay. Can go ahead, please.
You can use card. You can use card.
Yeah, use card. So, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very good that we actually like talked about it. Now, how many of us have like probably gone through the storytelling with data set, like that storytelling with data, that textbook? Actually, probably maybe go to chapter 1 or just check some or read the first thing. For that. Okay, brother, has gone through it. Yes. Yeah, yeah. So now, yes, okay, that's really nice. That's really nice. So for actually when you are trying to like show a metric, when you're trying to show a metric, the best form of visual to use is actually a card. Is actually when you're showing a single metric like total revenue, total this, and is the card. You notice that if you read that book at that particular point, when he was showing some probably percentage of something, 20% of something, you were showing it from like a plain number in form of a card. If you read that, I don't know the chapter for that particular book that talks about that. So when you're trying to represent a single metric, the best one to do is just use what's it called? A card. A card is the best way to do that. A card. So in this case now, for my total revenue, total sales and total whatever, what's that next one? Total revenue, total sales, total quantity, and total profit. I'm going to be using card for that. And you can beautify your card, you know, not like the card that I created the other time. That one is just so boring or something like that. So the money is there. So Mr. Kasmi.
Yeah. There's something I think you should be doing.
Okay.
Before calculating our matrix. So
Okay.
I think we should create a sort of table where
Okay.
all the metrics, so that we won't be scrolling up and down looking for them.
Okay.
You can
Like create a
actually
measure.
yes, it will be on the top. So what I
Mhm.
normally do in my own
Mhm.
case is to make sure it's at the top, I will put underscore, then call
Okay.
it matrix, so that it will be at the topmost.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
will save me the time of scrolling up and down looking for where they are.
Yeah. So that's a very good idea. Thank you so much, Mr. Kasmi, for that. Now, what he's actually saying is that when I was creating when I was working on the airline data set the other time, I was actually looking for one metric and scrolling up and down, like getting those and looking for one metric or the other. So that is actually it's not a good way to like do that. It's not really ideal. So instead of doing that, you can just create a table. You just have a table, like create a table that is going to contain your it's going to be measured. So you can just say you can call this one measure table or something like that, or metric table. You understand? Whereby all the metrics that you like created within your Power BI, you can actually just leave it that way.
So 1
Okay.
second, please.
Okay.
See, how I normally do it, not necessarily you navigate to go to at home. I think at home.
Okay.
I will click, click on
All
home.
right.
Let me see something. I will click on enter. That is
Enter data.
Yes, enter
Okay.
data. So
Yeah.
if I click on it, I will now name it.
Okay.
So after naming it, I normally put underscore before the name. I normally name either calculation or measure. And then every other calculated measure, we click on it to do the calculated measure so that it will be on it.
Okay. So yeah, I actually
it will host all of them.
Yeah. That's like, but what I'm trying to say now is this: actually, your method and my method are actually quite alike. So this one is like when you click on this enter data, it's creating a table. You understand, like a manual table whereby you can input like manually and type it in. So if I create a table here also, it's actually creating a table for me. So I can easily just use this one or that one to just like to create my table. It actually works for both too. But that's another way to go about it. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, this also works. So I can just create my new measure. So all the measures I'm going to be creating is going to be under this particular table, and that also goes with what we talk about the other time. So for example, now I want to create the total sales measure. I can just come here and say total sales. So this one will be sum, and I've not linked the table cells together. So it's this order. So let me I'm going to do that. Let me do that first. So let's model the data set before we come to metric. So to model the data set, actually this thing has modeled most of it for me. So to model the returns, so we are going to like link up the returns with the order ID that we have here. Just go like this. And leave this other one here. So that's that. So we link all the tables like that. Let me check this one. Okay, region. Okay. So we come here now and just come to my table and just select it. Total sales. Sum. So we have order sales, and we can format this one in any way we want. Probably is the dollar something we want to give in error, but let's just put dollar. Yes. So let's put dollar. That's that. That's dollar. So that's that. You can see that my metric that I have here now is now on what's it called? It's created the measure table, not under any other table or anything like that. So the measure is under this particular table. So that's actually one way to address your to make your work like look neat and well arranged, and also the one that Mr. Casme talk about. So we've created the total measure, total sales. So I can actually just do that, duplicate for. So I have some. Okay, Stella, I can see your hand.
Yeah, I want to find out, well, in a situation whereby you've created a measure,
okay,
and then you've not created a table, then you created a table, can you move that measure to that table?
I've actually
Then
tried
you're
that.
trying to
Let's remove it. Let's try that. Let's try that. Whether that one is actually possible. I've not tried that before though. So let's say, let me try to create a measure. Like let's say I'm trying to drag this one to this other sales table now. I think it's possible. Let's see. Is there another move and delete new group? I don't think it's possible, but it might be possible. But I don't know. I'm going to like find out. But from what I'm looking here, it's not really working. But if it's possible, I'm going to like update you on that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So now to get the total profit and total the other one, what's the total something, total profit and total quantity. Let me just copy this thing and quickly duplicate some things out. I just go through total quantity QTY. So this one will be quantity. Okay, I'm coming. I heard someone using it there. So that's this. Okay, brother.
Yes, sir. It's possible. You just have to click. Okay. Just click the total quantity, the measure.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you check this home table, there's a drop down.
Okay. Home table. Okay.
Beside the
Yeah.
file, under the file. Yeah, you see the home table. Click on it. There's a drop down there.
Okay. So thank you so much. So Stella, it's possible. So you can just select the measure that you want to move. So come to the home table and you can drag, like select the table you want us to drop it in. Yes, it's possible. Thank you so much, Brother, for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. That is actually new to me. So I don't know. So yeah, so I created the total sales. Let's do that for total profit. That's the last one. So new measure. Total profits. And that's that. This is profits. So I'm done creating the first question, which are the metrics that I need to show. So now let me just use card and display everything like that. So to use card, I'm just going to like select 3 cards and just probably do one and duplicate the rest. So I have the card here, so I'm going to drag my metric there. So the first one should be total sales. You know, we say total sales first, or we say total quantity. Let's do quantity first. I'm just trying to look at the way we can arrange it. Quantity, yes. Then the quantity leads to sales. Let's just duplicate this one. Now you have to like put some arrangements in it so that they can follow. You know what I mean? So the next one is total sales. I'm going to drag the total sales here. So this is total sales. So the next one is our start sales made is 2.3 million. Wow. And that's so big, man. So okay. And the last one is profits. And I think that the other metrics that can go on with this one is the profit margin. You know, I was saying the other time that you don't have to like just stay within that metric given to you. So another thing that I think they can learn from, what they can gain from, is what is profit margin. Yeah, that will give them an idea of like, okay, although we are making these sales, these are profit margin, so that you won't, okay, we already have profit there. So just give them some idea of what they are making. So I'm going to drag the profit here. Damn, this profit is so low. So that's the that's the list. So we have the total quantity, the total sales, and the total profit. So this total quantity sold, this total sales, and this is the total profit made from them. So that's the first. That's the first. So if you check the other questions that we have also, we said, okay, what's the next question that we have here? So which region is generating the highest sales? Region is generating the highest sales. That one is actually, so which region is generating the highest sales, and how many returns do we have? How many returns do we have? Okay. For region generating the highest sales. So what chart do you think is going to be okay for the region generating the highest sales? Okay, okay.
Bar chart.
Okay, bar chart. Thank you. Yeah, bar chart is best. Or do anybody have any other contrary answers to that? As probably what chart do you think is
chart is all right.
column or bar chart is all right? Yes. So that's that. You can also use pie chart, but I don't really like that. I don't know. So that's the thing, and I will show you why I don't really like it now. Just like so that I won't just be probably why am I hating on pie chart. So the thing is this. So let's say I drag in pie charts now. I have my pie chart here, and I have my bar chart here. Let me just use the two now. And let me just use bar chart on this. So I have the two now. So if I drag in the values now, so for this one is under other sales. So region. So do I have region here? Yeah, we have region. So I drag region to the axis and I drag in my total sales. I think that's what they asked. So I have it like this. So if I drag it here now, see what I'm saying now. Is it details? I think it's details, and the value is total sales. You can see that. Can you really look at this one and tell me that there's a difference between what's it called now? There's a difference between west and east. if there's no figure there. If there's no figure there now, like let's say I remove the label, can you really tell the one that is the
No, it's not even appealing.
It's not appealing. So that is why it leads to information loss. So the whole essence of chart is that you just present it, and the person that is looking at it already know where you are driving at. That okay, this one is high, this one is low. That's why I don't really like it for my own side though. I don't know. So so that's it. But is an alternative chart to bar chart to represent this type of information. Yeah, it's an alternative chart to bar chart to represent that. Or what's it called? The donuts one, the one that they implement. So that's that. So this is total sales based on region. So let me just try to like arrange this thing and make it look nicer. Now the next one is next question is how many returns do we have? So what chart are we going to be using for this question? How many returns do we have? And how are we calculating that? So what chart are we using and how are we calculating it? You check the question, how many returns do we have? How do we calculate it? And what chart is best for this? Anybody? You guys have to okay. You have to talk because I've seen this thing. Okay, so okay. Hadik, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we can use the pie chart.
You can use the
pie chart. Yeah, because you can say return not returned. So we can see the
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a pie chart, and based on the question, say we can use how many returns do we have? But no, what they're actually asking now is like how many returns do we have? Like they just want to know the actual number. Do we like have to represent the percentage? Okay, but
we can use the card.
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 Hello, I actually used the table.
Okay, use the table for
against the other ID.
Okay,
yeah, I used the table and other ID, the other ID and the returns, and he actually gave what the returns were, against the other ID, and it still sum it up for me. That's what I did.
Okay, yeah. So we use now we are getting.
Sir. I used distinct counts because I checked the returned table and I found out that everything on that table, on that return table, has only yes. There's nothing like no there.
There's nothing like no.
So when I checked it, I just used. So I used count of the IDs, and I just used that to like get the number of returns.
Returns. Okay. So now that's another way to go about it. Now, someone mentioned, Mr. Ademola mentioned something now that actually I look at it from one perspective. Although for me now, for this question, that is why I said sometimes you have to like actually ask some other question from the stakeholders to know what they really want. Now, for this case now, I can just say I'm going with card. So for me now, card is like the best one. I'm just showing the total because based on their question, they want to know the total. What's it called now? Total. How many returns do we have? They want to know the total number of returns. Now, if you wanted to dig deeper now to like just find out that probably it's not the stakeholders that need it's not the maybe stakeholders at the highest level that need the what's it called now? That need the dashboard. Probably is the product or is it procurement department or what they call themselves that need this thing. So now maybe he's the head of the department that wants to get that kind of thing. To him now, he might want to know which products are they returning the most. Am I making sense? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say now? So for him now, he might not actually be concerned with, okay, what is the total number of return goods? The general stakeholder I say might want to like know, okay, what's the total number of return goods? But as like maybe the head of the procurement department or something, I want to know that, okay, which of these products are they returning the most? Just to like give him insight that, okay, is there a particular issue with this product that we need to figure out or look into? So in that case, I might want to like go with a table to describe it and says like, okay, this is the product that is done, this is the name, and this is this like that. That is if they actually go deeper on the question. That's another way I'm looking at it also. But for this question, I would say the card is the best way to go about it. Just for this card is the best way to go about it. To this, but that you actually bring out couple of other things from that university. Well done. I like this. So now for the card now if you check the Bola said, I said everything is yes. Yes. So we have to be very cautious of that though. Because the thing is this, if I said everything is yes now, if it's like a data that is actually updating itself, like it's a real-time data that is coming in. Now, this column might be kind of like a yes or no thing. Probably we don't get the value for no yet. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. It is good that you check the table that okay, everything is yes before you go ahead and use like count now. But another thing you have to put into consideration is that okay, what does if there's other value that is coming in that you are not aware of, probably what you have currently now from probably this year, last year to this year is yes. Probably the next year, what is going to be coming in, there will be no. So you have to actually be sure of what is the variable that this particular return value is going to contain. You understand what I'm trying to say now? Before we can say, okay, maybe everything is yes or no. So you have to understand that first. Okay, Stella, do you have a question?
No, it's a contribution to what you are saying. I think that's the essence of using the filter now. So in that particular column, when you scroll down, you will see the content of what is there. So if there is a no, you will know. So you are analyzing the data based on what you have, the information you have, not on an assumption or forecasting of what will happen in the nearest future, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The data we have now is just having yes. So we are going to work on that basis of just yes.
Yes. Now, what I'm trying to say, like, you should put into consideration if we are going to get no in the future. But you said something now, like we can just add filter to it, whereby if it's yes, we can just filter for yes, and if it's no, we can filter for no. Yeah, that will work too. So now to do that now, we can just going to use the count, like you just said now, it's count that we're going to use for this particular one. Count. So we are counting the number of returns. You said, how many returns do we have? So to do that now, let's go to our dashboard. So I'm going to count the number of distinct order ID. So it's going to be number of distinct order ID. Because everything has to be distinct here. So distinct number of order ID. That's what I'm going to count here now. So to do that, I can just come to my measure here. New measure. Return. So count. So I can add this one here. And try to like do this thing.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Hello, sir. Hello? 1 second, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
From my end, I think I prefer using count A. I know count numeric values or thereabouts. Then count A count both numeric and non-numeric.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right.
It can't go.
So I prefer
like I get
count A.
You prefer what? Count A.
Using count A.
I don't get your question. Okay, using count A for this instead of using count.
Instead of count.
Okay. I get your question now. Like you're talking about, since majority of it can be text, like what we talk about in Excel, count is only counting non-empty numeric cells, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So for this one, you prefer count A?
Yeah. Yes.
So now for this,
because it counts
numeric
and non-numeric. I don't know if I'm right, but that's what I think.
That's yeah, in Excel actually, that is it. So when you are counting Excel, like sales in Excel, is counting the number of non numeric non-empty cells. That's for count, and count A is counting just all the cells that are not empty. But for this one, it doesn't really mean you can use count. Count is just counting the number of rows that has value, the number of the rows that has value in it. It doesn't actually deal with like probably it's text or what's it called now, or numeric. Because for example now, the rows I'm counting now, the particular row that I'm counting now is the order, the return. And the return that I have here, the other head is text, is not what's it called? It's not numeric. Everything is text. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything is text, and still is giving us our answer. So you can use count in Power BI, but when you get to Excel, you can actually use count A and count.
But there's still option of count A in Power BI.
Yes. So we are going to explore the option of count A, and I'm going to show you what that one means now. Just a minute. So Malaki, I'm with you. So let's go to.
Okay. Regarding this count of returns, actually I used the like under the visual this thing visuals.
Yeah.
Under field, I saw a count there. There is a count distance and there is a count. So I ticked the count. I actually got the same answer, but I really want to understand the difference between the count distance and the count alone. Because when I use the count distance, it just gave me 1. And when I use the counts, it gave me the answer. So,
okay, so
and why did you use DAX formula for it instead of that one? Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, you can actually, yeah. So first about this DAX thing now, you can use the DAX, you can use the normal table formula for that one. But the thing is this, now if is a situation whereby I have to reuse that count for probably count for a particular region or count for a particular region, then I have to create the DAX formula for that to be able to for me to be able to do that. You get what I'm saying? So that is why actually sometimes I just prefer to write the formula for the DAX. But you can easily use that. But should in case you wanted to use that one to drill down to a particular one, maybe what is the return for a particular region, then you have to write that formula for everything. So that is that. So yeah, so the other one about the count distinct and count is this. Count distinct is going to count only the unique values in that particular column.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So the count is going to count everything, whether they are unique or not for this thing. Okay. 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 So now, Mr. Casimir. So for the count A and count A and what's it called? And count E that we have in this thing is this. So for count A, it's just like actually normal. What's it called now? Normal. What's it called? Power BI. Sorry, Excel something. So when you are trying to using count A is going to count a non-empty numeric cells. So that's how. So it counts non-empty numeric cells. But the thing about the institution about this is that we can have some cells that just contain maybe like a column. They are not empty, but they just have some things in it that doesn't really unique. So count A is going to count everything as long as they have something in it. You only exclude the ones that are not empty. You get what I'm saying? Hello, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's just going to count only non-empty, only non-blank cells that we have in that particular column, non-blank cells. And in some cases, we can have some cells that just contain just maybe a column or something like that that doesn't really fit into a value. It's going to count everything together with it. So that is why we don't use count. That's why we use normal count. But normal count is just going to count the number of values that are not that has value in it. Like that's the difference between. I don't know whether that makes sense to you. Does that make sense? So that's that. Now the next one that we have for this is just, and this is the number of return goals that we have. We have 296. So the other question that we have here is this.
Before moving to the next question, can you please show me the DEX measure that you have written for returning the
What do you say?
product?
I didn't get that. What do you say? Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, I'm saying the measure
Okay.
that you have written, the measure you have written, can you show me it first once more? I did
Okay,
not
the
focus
return.
it
Okay,
on.
okay, 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 okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go about that. So for the returns, so this is the formula. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right. So you're welcome. Sekinat, I'm with you.
Okay, my question is regarding your how many return did we have? You used
Yeah.
distance count. So I wanted to ask because I used calculate. So I was like calculate count rows of orders, then the return is equals to yes. So I mean
Okay.
I wanted to
Did
know
you?
why you use distance count. I don't know. It counts rows. Does it not count like blank columns and like yes? So I don't know why you use that distance count.
Okay, now. So yeah, you actually answered the question now. So one thing about the rules is this: count rows is going to like, but you put yes there. Count rows is going to count the number of rows that you have in it, whether it is empty or not. You understand? So let's say we have table A now. The number of rows that we have in that particular table, that's what it's going to count. But you put yes there that okay, if this particular this thing is equal to what? Is equal to yes. Now, from this thing, do we have the same answer?
No, it's not the same.
What do you get at your own end?
800.
800. Sorry, hold on.
Yes.
Do we have, is this thing up to 800?
I don't know.
No, there is something wrong. There's something wrong. The number of cells that we have here, the number of order items that we have here, they are 296. It should be 296. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be
Let me check.
800. Do you get that now?
I'll check. I'll check.
Yeah, even if you write that, you should get this answer.
All right.
Uh, so the next one that we have now is in which category do
Hello?
we see the? Okay, all right.
Hello?
Hello,
Can I
I'm
just
with you.
quickly corroborate? Yes, I want to corroborate that person that said she had 800 because I had exactly the same thing. So, yes, when I did it first, I had this 296. These are the distinct values. But when you look at when you match the number of returned items, when you match it with the fact table, that's the source table, you discover that there are actually 800 instances of returns where those orders. So there are instances where you have one order item, but there have 3 or 4 different items that are returned together. So because part of what happened when I was trying to now make the table dynamic, so that I wanted to see, okay, maybe when I filter by a particular customer or a particular salesperson, then see how many returns are tied to that. And I thought I was static at 296. So in the course of digging further, that's when I now realized that, oh, okay, I had to, and I looked into the table and now realized that, oh, there are instances where one unique order might have 3 or 4 different returned items tied to it. So that's how come you have the return order. Yes.
Okay. I think I get what you're trying to say now. So now, if I get your question right, is that so a particular person, like a particular return ID can return more than one item, right?
Yes, a particular order. So I think the explanation is an order by have 3 or 4 items in that same order.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at it in terms of unique returns, you have 296 returns. But in terms of items, how they spread across the various items. There are 800. Yes.
Okay. I get that now. So according to the question now, what you want to say is this particular unique return, this one that we have here.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. So you want to see according to this particular, because actually, if they wanted to see per item, because whenever you go and order something, let's say online now, automatically, if you buy like 10 things, it's still going to generate a single order ID for you. You get what I'm saying now?
Yeah,
So
sure, yes.
yeah, so we are trying to like get like, okay, based on this order that we've like made now, how many return order do we have based on the question that we have here now? So if actually they are asking based on the item, they should have actually put it there straight that, okay, how many return item do we have? You get what I'm trying to say now. So they are actually talking about this return based on the order item that they're getting there.
I get you. I'll just be very interested in seeing how that 296 will be dynamic. That number of returns which I think can change.
Okay.
As we go along, because that's what threw me off track. Yes.
Okay. Let's try that. Say go, we are all here together. Okay, so and now let's quickly look at the other question. So the other question talked about, in which category do we see the highest number of return products? In which category do we see the higher of return product? Now, this one is talking about return products now. So if they are saying like how many return products do we have, that will have made a different thing. So in which category do we have the highest number of return products? So let's quickly go to, so what chart do we use for this one quickly before we, which category do we see the highest number of return products? Do we use bar chart? So let's drag this thing here. And let's drag the category. Now, return products. Okay. Let me drag the product here. It's a product title. So for this one, we have 6,000 products. We have this product. So now for this, now let's try now let's create a filter like someone suggested before now. So you bring in a filter here.
And you are so fond of this. I was even talking and you are, that's why you are attacking me.
Okay, so let's drag in where's the return now? Do you see that now? Do you are you all with me? Hello everyone. So now for this one now, we can actually filter down based on the return to get the number of return products. Or we can write a formula. Like, can write a DAX formula. This is one way to solve it. Another way to solve it is like we can write a DAX formula to like give us the count of products, the count of product ID, where the return is equal to yes. Do you get that now? So that is two ways we can solve this question. Is that you can use a filter to drill down, or you can write a DAX formula that say, okay, what is the count of product ID, like a measure, count of product ID, where the return is equal to what? When the return is equal to yes. And that will also give you this now. So generally, for each category of products, we have for office category, let me try to like expand this one a bit. For office category, we have 6,026 products. For this one, we have 2,121, and for the technology we have this. Now to now know like the number of products that is returned for each category, you can easily use the filter to know the return. So if I click on return is equal to yes now it's going to filter it down. We can see now for this particular one we only have 473. Oh, okay, yeah, we only have 473. Yeah, it's still okay. We only have 473 products for the office supply, and we have 171 for furniture. Then we have 156 for technology. That's like the number of return product per category. Do anybody have questions on this? Do we understand this part? Any question on this? Oh, move on. Okay.
But
Mr. Okay, go ahead. Okay, Mr. Ayomide, you can go ahead.
Mr. Sorry, is
Sorry.
So this question, I really found it not difficult, but like I wanted to use
I'm sorry.
way.
I just don't know where I go.
But like when I wanted to create the, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I found this question very not difficult, but like I wanted to create the filter the way you did it this way. But I
Okay.
think the first mistake I made was not using the product ID. I used return. Then I was not trying to use product ID as filter. But now when I now even wanted to use the filter, like I was not I couldn't get the list to change it to product
Okay.
to drop down, and
Okay.
it was there was a way that please can you go back to so that I can see how the future was just looking very, and I couldn't get, so I just left that question. Honestly, I just left it.
So actually, the question Bola Dele said is very, very is difficult. Is that what he says? But actually, is it's actually not straightforward. To be honest, it's not straightforward. Now, and the reason why it's like that is because it's a question that you see online, and that's one thing about question. Like when you just get question, like probably tend to like work on project, you tend to interpret it based on your own understanding, because this is what is written there. You might not, maybe what is the question is not clearly stated. That is why if it's in person something or something that you're doing personally for a project or a company, you can go back to the person and ask again, like, what do you mean about this particular question? But because this thing is like this, that's why it's not really straightforward. But now, based on the question, that when I look at it, I find out that for the first one, they said, how many returns do we have? And I know that return this with like probably return is based on the order. So if I
Yeah.
order now, it's based on order. So they are depending on the number of products I ordered. So if I'm returning still one, you are going to categorize like just one return. So that is that
Yes, it
because
was
when
order I was using order ID instead of product ID. So I was getting
oh,
one. I was like, it can't be one. This thing can't be one.
so you know
Because
the
I
question
could
is
see that, like, if I go to the order table, I could see that a lot of other products. When another way I checked, it was like there's a lot of other products I was using. It can't just be one. This thing is not correct. So I just left it. But now that it's product, I will go back and try using product ID and
yeah.
play around to
Yes.
get. Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you very
try
much.
you're welcome. So you get that. So any other question on this before we go move ahead? Do you have any other question? Okay, Adiola.
Okay, thank you. I think I also struggled with that question. I used category ID and then returned. And then I was getting the same answer for everything, 296. I knew that I was wrong. So I tried putting the question into ChatGPT to see if I could come up with a solution. And then ChatGPT gave me a solution of calculating sum and then max X, which I don't know what max X is. But the long and short of it was that it wasn't possible because I think for the solution ChatGPT was preferring, you needed maybe I don't know, there was a particular colon that was needed for that kind of code to be used. Yes. So I don't know, maybe if you've encountered the use of max XX or something. I don't know. I can't remember that particular function now.
Yeah, max X is actually like trying to like give you a particular the highest value from a table. Like it's going through a table and it's going to give you the highest value in a particular table. So there's max X, and max is actually on a column basis, and max X is on a table basis. I think if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, I will actually find out to confirm that. But that's what I'm going to find out and give you a response before we run. Okay, Bola Dale.
I don't know. I am really saying, oh, it's not like she finds it difficult. It's very difficult for some of us. So I don't know where you are coming from. Quick one. My question is, if we are going to be giving this Power BI dashboard, we are going to be giving most times is going to be to non-technical people.
Yeah.
So this part of that question is still something that is in my brain somehow. So I'm thinking, oh, is it like a normal practice for you to just select it that way? Because people that are not technical, they don't even know how to like navigate it. How do we do that kind of a thing? I don't know how if I'm gathering my thoughts very well, but it looks something like, oh, maybe someone that is not technical might not be able to get it.
Okay, so now the thing is this, like, yes, the question it looks somehow, and the reason why I was able to like get these things probably because I've had like several like experiences with this kind of thing before. That's why I was able to get that because actually, if I'm actually new to it, I'm actually getting confused. So in the real, let's say you are doing a real data analysis in the real world settings. Sometimes you know, when they give us a question to analyze, like a project, sometimes what the people that like give us a project need, like the answer they are looking for, might not really be the way we interpret it. That's another thing, because the way we interpret question actually matters a lot. And but when it comes to the real world settings, like probably in a company, in organization settings, and they give you a work to do, that's why you go back to them, you will ask questions to they explain. It is them that they want something, they want you to create a dashboard. So that is why a lot of questions, like I said the other time, that you need to ask a lot of questions, like when you are giving you work to do or something to calculate, so as you can get it very, very well. Now, they can say that, okay, create this, and you might be taking it as another thing and create another thing. But when you ask them more questions, like ask them question more, then they were able to like explain and break it down better for you. So that is actually why you need to like do that. But in the real world settings, the more you do this, the more you understand better as you're going in. So that's just it. So for someone asked about max x and this thing. So max x returns the largest value that results from evaluating an expression for each row. So max x actually deals with an expression. An expression is like talking about a measure that you already create. You understand? So I'm trying to look, okay, what is the maximum value for this based on the total sales? That's that. So that's max x. So max returns the largest value on a column basis. Like, okay, for example, I have my sales value in a column. So what is the maximum sales in terms of like for each transaction? That's max. But what is the maximum sales for like probably the total sales made so far? That's what we use max x. Do you get that? Do you understand that? So max x is for expression, which is for a DAX formula. Expression is like a DAX formula I created. Why max is like for a row basis when you're just defining the highest value in the row. So that's that. So so the last question before we call it a day because of our time, he said, in which region are they based? Which region are they based? That one is actually very who is the salesperson with the highest sales? That one is very quite straightforward, right? So that one is I can just use, let me use the bar chart or something like that. So what table contains the salesperson? Salespeople. So I'm going to drag the person here. We only have 4. So I'm going to drag the total sales to the value. And this is Chuk. Is it Chuks? Not Chuks. That's the highest Chuk. That's the highest sales. So from this now I can know, okay, which region is Chuk from? You understand? So for me to know the region that Chuk is from, actually, because based on this our question, I can use filter to get that. I might not necessarily create a chart for that because the question is like intertwined. So if I try to like select Chuk now, is from East. You get that? So I don't have to like necessarily create probably create a column for going to know the region that is from. You can actually filter. You can put your out of the filter option that you have, you can put salesperson there because it's actually featuring on that. Like another filter option can be salesperson. I can filter based on salesperson also. So the last question is, in which region are they based? I think that one has been answered. Which ship mode is the most frequently used by customer? So how do you know the ship mode that is frequently used by customer? You just have to select and just create this thing and this and just drag in ship mode. Where's the ship mode? 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 Okay, so drag it there, and I can just create the count of ship mode like this thing just suggested now. Just count, and second class standard class is the most used ship mode based on the count number of occurrences. And to the last question, who are the top? Okay, who are the top 10 customers? So top 10 customers. Now, another question about top 10 customers. Now, this is a very tricky question that is not straightforward. I know a lot of people might actually get this. Who are the top 10 customers? You know, but if I want to like assume, I'll just top 10 customer based on the total number of goods that they bought, like, you know, that's that. So I can just do that. But if the states, if they don't put any condition that okay, maybe top 10 customer based on the total sales, just have to do top 10 customer based on the number of order they've made. You understand now? So based on the number of orders they've made, so that's where you're going to get top 10 customers. So I'm going to drag in the customer name, create a table. Country. So top 10 customer is going to be like, okay, customer name and top 10 customer order ID. And you can see the top 10 customer. This is Mr. Max Belma, Belma or something. So that is that. Okay. Okay. I did okay. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so you can for that particular bar chart column, you can also filter it. Since they mentioned top 10, you can filter it to just list you the top 10.
Top 10.
Customer.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, you can do that to filter the top 10. Yes. Ayomide.
You can also write a DAX function, right? Because
yes, you can write the DAX function
about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then the region, the salesperson, in which region are they based? You created a bar chart, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you didn't even need, because you already created already region generated for ISO, so you were able to view. But me, I used a legend for it, like total sales by person and by region. So it gave, like, I have like colors that showed in the bar chart. It gave me different variations of colors that showed the region. The colors were for the region, like, so I don't know if that's also okay. I don't know if you understand.
I get what you're saying. So like you add like a legend to the, what's it called now? To this to this
to total sales by person.
We don't have at all.
What do you say? I don't okay. So like let me just quickly get what you say now. Let me just
region, go to region. Yeah.
So you drag region here.
I think Sophie is going.
Yeah,
right?
something like this. Yeah.
Yeah. A big thing actually does this. So you don't actually have to like do this just to like get the region, because you notice that it's not all of them that are in the same region. So this might not really be the best way. If all of them share the same region, you understand now. So when you are trying to use a legend for something, all the what's it called? The variable must share the same legend for everything before you can use a legend for everything. You get what I'm saying? So that's that one. So you can easily just use this one, or you put a filter for region. I decide that filter based on.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think we have the last question of the day, like Akiola.
Yes, I just wanted to ask that what measure would you write for this particular question, because she did mention that she wrote a measure.
Yeah, there is you can write can use max X.
So I don't understand.
Hello? Sorry. You can use max X for that though. Yes, you can use max X, or you can use top. There's like a top 10 function for this thing. Yeah, I think there's a top 10 function. We can use max X. Brother, I'm with you. Let me quickly find that.
Oh, okay. For the top 10 customers, you know, someone can buy 10 things and it's not going to amount to someone that bought a thing. Say someone bought 10 chairs, 10 pencils, and one person bought a couch. Couch is expensive than pencils. So I just did quantity sold and total sales using field parameters. So if you want to check the number of quantity sold, say, people that bought 10, you will see it there. And if you are going to be going by total number of sales, say, someone bought something of 50,000 naira and someone bought something of 10,000 naira. I also did that too.
Okay. So yeah, that's a very correct thing. So before I answer your question, so for to answer the other question, so for that top 10, use top N and you put 10 there, top N. So top N will give you the top 10. That's the function for it, top N. So for that question, actually, that's why I said sometimes that when they give you a question and they didn't really digest that, okay, what is maybe the top 10 customer based on their sales, what you actually use is the order. Do you understand that? It's like order, number of times that I come to buy stuff. So I might not really buy I may not really buy probably a goods that is actually high, but still I'm a frequent something. But if they actually say it in the question that okay, based on sales, that's we have to use that one. So that's going to be all today. So if you have any other question, please, I'm going to open the group. You can just drop in your question on the group. I'm going to attend to the questions, and the one that I have no answer, everything is going to be attended to. So I believe at least we get something from today's class, and I'm able to do justice to the assignments to some extent. So, and also I learned a lot of things from a lot of people. Like, thank you so much, guys. So that'll be all for today. Enjoy your weekend.